Today we're ranking every single event in Arknights. Now I know this tier list includes story chapters and the other smaller events that are like temporary, that are in the archives and stuff. We're not counting any of those. We are simply just counting events that are in the intermezzi and that are in the side stories. Now, I have not read like anything about this game. I've read the first few chapters and I've read like Dark Knight's memoir. That's it. So we're not talking about stories here. I'm strictly talking about gameplay, mechanics, levels, level design, music, etc. Whatever I decide I want to care about for these events and rating them on that. Mainly like gameplay and how fun they were, but yeah, overall that's basically what we're looking at here. So don't come at me in the comments section being like, how is this one low? How is this? The story is insane. I'm not talking about story. Okay, so get that out of your head. Get that out of your head. To start off the list, we have Granny, and the Knight's Treasure. Honestly, I feel like this event is a perfect example of early Arknights. Not really a lot going on. There's 6 levels, and the EX stages, there's 3 of them, and then HX. And the mechanic, quote unquote mechanic, is the eroded path. Shocking. I mean, I don't think there's really anything else going on. There's some basic enemies, but nothing that you haven't really seen before. But it does have Big Bob. Now, I remember when I first played this event, Big Bob was kind of scary because, I mean, he was just a hulking man walking around, and he could pretty much one-shot anything I put on the board if they weren't a defender. And even then, if they were a defender, I don't know if my healers could heal fast enough. But other than that, yeah, this event doesn't really have anything special about it. I don't remember any music standing out to me. It's fine, you know? I think if I'm gonna rate it, it's gonna go probably in alright. It's not bad, but it's not really amazing. I've just, you know, free Originite Prime. Next up, we have his Heart of Surging Flame. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think, well, what's nice about this event is every single level is 0 sanity. I don't know why this was the case. I don't know why they did this. I was happy about it, that's for sure. But I played this was another one I played when I was early in my account, so it was kind of, the difficulty was a bit boosted because of that, but I don't remember it feeling that bad. Obviously the most annoying part were definitely the sniper leaders that stunned you, and sometimes the Urgate leaders that could slip by. These agents that reduce block were kind of annoying sometimes, but honestly it wasn't anything that bad. I think what first caught me off guard was the Pompeii boss, because there's like a lot of damage going out, and my account was not really ready for that. So I remember I had to bring like a bunch of healers. I think I ended up looking up a guide for that or something, because I was not dealing with that. Actually, it might have been this stage. Oh, I definitely looked up a guide for this stage. I was not dealing with that at the time. My account was not very well off, so not too bad. Music's not insane, and the gameplay was pretty good. I don't think it was stupid hard. It also wasn't stupid easy. There were mechanics you kind of had to play around, which was nice. Oh, I think it's a pretty good event. I don't have anything really bad to say about it. I just don't think it's amazing. Next up is Code of Brawl. The music, I remember being not bad about this event. The levels were kind of the Lungman looking levels, right? Yeah, they were. The main mechanic for this was, yeah, the portable, no, it wasn't the portable supply station. It was the command terminals, that's right. Not really that bad. They could have made it way more annoying. Like, they had enough HP. Once you upgraded them, they could heal themselves. Like, it was fine. I remember there were some cool levels too, but I think they're the EX ones probably. Actually, before I do that, yeah, the Rat King boss. I still don't really properly understand how this guy works. I just ended up blowing him away with like a Surtur or something. Was it the EX stages? I really enjoyed something. Yeah, like a stage like this where you use the roadblocks and guide them certain ways. I really like these stages. This one I remember was being pretty fun. I really liked EX8. I think I ended up like funneling them down 1 to 2 paths or something. I thought this level was fun. I love levels with roadblocks where you kind of get to form your own path and stuff. I also didn't mind the bully enemies with the 3 block. It incentivizes you to use defenders. These guys, though, the fanatics, hurt like a bitch, and they do prioritize the command terminals, which can be really annoying if you make a wrong path. But yeah, other than that, this event was pretty good. The stage design, like the actual look of the stage, like the set dressing, could have been different, but it's not that big of a deal. I think I like this one more than Heart of Surging Flame, probably, but it's close. The next one is Twilight of Woolamund, some whatever, however you say it. I am mixed about this event. Alright, I'll be honest, I like the music. I like the way the stages look. I love this, you know what I mean? But the towers, I'm like iffy about. They're not the worst thing ever. Like the gramophones, sorry. They're not the worst thing ever, but I kind of like hate having to, you know, turn them on, get them going. Sorry, having to activate them. That's what, yeah. I hate having to activate them, especially because there's some enemies that, like, basically, they don't require you to have the gramophones to kill them necessarily. But if you don't, you are heavily making the level harder for yourself. So it makes sense. You have to play around it. And I mean, if you're playing with a character with traps and stuff, it makes it easier. But I think I just don't like the walking hulk of an enemy that's just, I don't know. I don't know where they are. The enemies that when they die, is it this dude? Yeah, when they die, they do arts damage and take over all the gramophones. How fucking annoying is that? The EX stages were fine. I actually don't even think I did them until very recently because I was like, I'm not touching this event until my account is stronger. Where are they? Are they here? Oh, these. The stages where instead of it being trials, it's tribulations. This also is kind of hit or miss. I think it's cool that, you know, you don't get to use your own operators, but at the same time, there's an implication that there's a certain way to beat the level. Obviously, there's probably multiple ways you can do it, right? But like the joy of this game is being able to use whatever you want and still coming out with your own strategy. When you're given a preset squad like this, it does kind of truncate down the amount of strategies you could do, or like, you know, you get what I'm saying. I don't hate it, but I also don't really love it. I ended up just looking up a strategy for it because I just wanted to get it done, I'll be completely honest. So, I mean, where do I place this? I don't think it's inherently bad. I just am not a fan of the mechanic of the gramophones. I would rather use my characters to do what I'm supposed to do, but then again, it is a mechanic you have to play around, so I'm putting it all right. I'm not going to put it in bad because I feel like that would be disingenuous. I'm just not a fan. Okay, I'm keeping it at that. Next up is Arknights Memoir. I actually really like this event. It was the only event I've read, so I like the story for it too, but that's not being considered here. But this is one of the first events I ever did as well. And I don't know which stage it is. It might be an expert stage, but I had such a fun time trying to figure out the most optimal way to solve the stage. The jet stream mechanic isn't anything revolutionary. It's cool to learn how to use it. And the spear guys can be a little annoying, the lancers. I remember at the time I actually really struggled with the demolitionists because I didn't have a lot of arts damage built up at the time. Nowadays, this event would be a freaking joke for me, obviously, but what level is it? It's EX2. I love this level. I love the design of it, like the layout, and I just remember spending multiple tries perfecting my strategy for this. I really enjoyed this. But overall, as an event, it's still pretty basic. I think it's one of the first times you see some of these Sarkaz enemies. I don't know when this came out. It was the first time I saw a bunch of these enemies, I'll be completely honest. I'm really biased here, but this is my list. It's gonna go like bottom of amazing. I really like this event. I don't know. The music was good too. I'm probably gonna be saying the music is good for a lot of events, but if they don't stand out like super insanely, I'm not gonna really change my sentiment on that. Okay, now we have the Great Chief Returns. I like this one a lot. I really like the level design because for a while I was seeing a lot of, dark colors, grays, deserts, all this crap. This was one that like had a complete change of scenery, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's grass, there's greenery, what? Like, where is this? So I really like this already just for the look of it. I also just love the enemy designs, like the little crocodude. The mechanics with like the giant mushrooms, it's fine. It's nothing crazy. It's the first time I think I experienced dropping something to interact with something on the stage, maybe, other than like roadblocks. And then, I mean, having the grass was nice too, but I don't think what makes this event special is not really the mechanics more so than it is the enemies. Standout things for me were like this dude who only takes damage, like when he's blocked, only takes damage from the unit blocking it. So it kind of was like, okay, well, if you're gonna put a defender down, make sure that bitch can do damage, you know what I'm saying? Because like he would be standing there for a while if not. The boss was also kind of interesting. Where's the boss? This guy. The big ugly thing. Looks like the bird from Rio, and it was cool because you couldn't block the second form. So it kind of incentivized you to kill it early and fast so it would run around and kill itself so you didn't, it didn't just leak. Obviously, I think you can still attack it. Yeah, it doesn't say untargetable, but, that's kind of the idea, right? But overall, don't remember this event being very hard or difficult. I liked it a lot, though, for what it was. It's gonna go in amazing for me, I think. Above Arknights Memoir. Next up is the Maria Neural event. What even was the mechanic for this again? Was it the medical runes? What even? Oh, it wasn't just like the flying guys that you could kill for buffs. The sponsor drones. Okay, yeah, that was that. Yeah, this one was fine. I think this is another event that's more defined by the enemies, like the nightclub guys, the bosses, the corrupted and withered knight, and like how killing one buffed the other one could be dicey to deal with if you're not prepared. Oh, right. They had the coils. That was kind of cool. I don't think they were utilized very much, but I liked it when they were there. Yeah, overall, pretty good event. It doesn't stand out a lot for me personally, so it's good. I don't hate it. I enjoyed it. Mansfield Break. Okay, I gotta start this off by saying this event was so fucking easy, dude. I don't even think I interacted with the mechanic, quote unquote, like the imprisonment device. I didn't need to touch this thing. The only time I interacted with this imprisonment device was maybe on one of the boss stages, and then on the annihilation level that was built based off this event. Other than that, I just killed everything. This event was not hard at all. Music is fine. Or at least the boss song. I really like the boss song. Everything else was brain dead easy. A lot of these stages I end up having Ascalon for, and she just trivialized it. Like, you put her in the center here, done. It just, I don't know. Yeah, a lot of the enemies weren't very threatening, and a lot of the big beefy guys had E resistance. So I mean, you kind of can blast them away with casters and stuff, arts damage. I will say I do like the tile set for the event. The being in the prison was kind of cool. The enemies' designs were fine. I don't know. It's a good event, I guess. Not much more than that. I think it was just too easy. All right, who is real? I actually thought this event was really interesting. The Mark of Hui and Ming, and then everything that came after that interacted with that, like enemies not being blockable or taking more or less damage depending on the marks, changing the marks, flipping the marks on your allies. Pretty interesting. I didn't always have to interact with it. This was another case of when I played this, my account was just pretty strong, but there was some cases where I got humbled and was like, okay, I actually got to play the game properly, and it was interesting. Love the tile set. I think the enemies are interesting, and like I said, the way they interact with the actual mechanics was pretty cool. Probably around Arknights Memoir here at the bottom of Amazing, because it actually has a mechanic that you most certainly probably have to play around if you're doing like niche nights or something, or if you're playing it on a weaker account. All right, this next one I can't even look at because it's not in the side story or intermezzi, because it's the the first Rainbow Six event, Originium Dust. Screw this event. I hate it. I don't like it. Well, actually, Kate, hold on. Let me slow down a bit. I liked it until the boss. The boss sucks balls. So everything else was pretty fine. I thought that the sandstorm mechanic was interesting, like building up the walls and all that. The enemies weren't too bad. Even the little slug guys, they weren't that bad until the boss. I hate the boss stage. Flooding your guys with enemies that slow down your ground units' attack speed, like, it was just annoying. And then having those like turret enemies that shot out other little guys, it was just, if you had a proper strategy to deal with it, it wasn't the worst thing. It was just annoying. Like, I don't know. I would prefer not to deal with it. I want to put it in bad to be that guy. I want to do that, but I feel like it's not fair to put it in bad if I really only hated the boss stage. But then again, I feel like if this isn't going to go in bad, I don't know what is. So for the sake of being petty and having diversity in the list, it's going in bad. Next up is Walk in the Dust. Quite possibly one of the best menu themes, maybe even the best menu theme in my game in the game for an event. I love this menu song so much. Holy shit. Now, if we were ranking story, this would probably go bottom tier, because this is what actually made me stop reading the story in this game. So you can thank this event for that. The actual mechanics, the tactical hangers, the enemies that summoned these little turrets that did shit. Pretty interesting, not the worst. I thought it was kind of fun. These dudes, the War Phantoms, holy cow, they could mess you up if you aren't ready to deal with them. They're pretty scary to deal with. But what really stands out for this event for me, the boss, Emperor's Blade, brother. I remember first coming up on this stage and I had no idea how I was gonna beat it. I'm like, what the hell am I gonna do to this thing? I actually had to think crazy, and that's what makes him interesting, is because you have to think, but he's also not so obscenely annoying where it's like not fun to have to think, you know what I mean? If you properly play around his mechanics, you will beat him. And I guess that's how everything goes, but this feels like fun to figure out and fun to work around, not obscenely annoying. Maybe others don't agree. I like him a lot. So I'm putting this one in amazing. Definitely carried by the boss because everything else was okay, nothing crazy, but the boss cements this as one of the better events for sure. Undertides, dude, I really like this event. I've also heard the story for it's insanely good. The vibe of it. The vibe of this event is perfect, dude. I love it. The music, the stage tile sets, the enemies. I remember when I first started playing the game, I was watching like some videos, and at that point I had only seen like the reunion enemies, and I'm like, oh, there's probably gonna be a lot of this. And then I remember seeing someone play like some of the Undertides levels, and I'm like, what the hell are these enemies? Like, I was excited at the prospect of exploring new gacha game that's been out for a few years, you know what I mean, and seeing all the different enemy types, and I'm like, how do we go from reunion to whatever the hell these things are, you know what I'm saying? And so I was already excited with that, and this event did not disappoint. I thought it was pretty interesting. The nervous impairment, I can definitely understand people finding annoying. It can be annoying. I'm not even that much of a fan of it, but it does introduce elemental afflictions, right? I think nervous impairment is an elemental affliction. I could be totally wrong. The main intros were interesting because they were an ally that you could kill, which I thought was something new for sure. I think most of the time they ended up dying anyway, because I'm just like, I'll just tank the nervous impairment, whatever. I think the one thing I don't like about this event are these goddamn losers, the Sea Reapers. I never know the range of their nervous impairment, and I feel like there'll be guys that are light years away still taking the nervous impairment damage. But overall, no, I freaking love this event. Even the boss, this was a new type of boss, right? Because it was the big old fucker. Not that hard really, but the first wall boss, which I thought was cool. Or I guess not wall boss, but yeah, wall boss. The boss that didn't move. They just stay there until you kill them. Undertides honestly might be the first peak event. I love this event so much. I do. As much as I may not have enjoyed the enemies as other events, everything put together makes it great. Docilis Holiday, I enjoy beach aesthetics, so already it kind of gets the bonus for me. Now because of when I played, I had these weird, like, where is it? Right here, the customized schemes. I assume when it first came out, you had to like unlock all of this. I genuinely just kind of picked ones I thought would work well for me. Didn't really think much past that. The high tide mechanic wasn't in every level from what I remember. Unless I'm an idiot. No, it wasn't in every level. But it was interesting because sometimes it could really screw you over if you weren't prioritizing who you had to place. So it's like if you didn't get certain ground units down on time, you would be cooked. People would leak, like it was happening. But then even when it rose higher and then you couldn't place your snipers, your healers and all that, that could really also screw you over if you weren't doing shit properly. So it was kind of like striking a fine balance of blocking the lanes you needed to block and then prioritizing getting your upper units, your high ground units up. The boss, Pancho Salas, fine. I barely even really know what he does. I know he just does damage and blows shit up. I don't know. He wasn't that hard that I couldn't just tank him until I killed him with a defender. What I thought was cooler was this stage, or these stages where it's like you're on a boat and you're being chased by this. I thought that was cool. The music also was great. Like the combat music. Also this event, just a bit of a sidebar here. It features Wetchen, you know, and we know how I feel about Wetchen. We also have a beach version of Hoshiguma. You can't go wrong with that. Swire's there too, lovely. And also my second favorite rat in existence. What's not to love? Personally, that alone brings this event to peak, surely, right? Come on. It's got some of my favorite characters in the game in a beach setting. Come on, guys. Near light. Okay, you know what? Hey, hold up. I just realized. Caught. I have not completed this event. 54 out of 82. That's disastrous work. Oh boy. Don't judge me. Okay, don't judge me. I'm not really that fond of this event. It's fine. I just think the light mechanic is kind of annoying to play around. I just want to drop my fucking units. It's interesting. I'll give it that. It's interesting. But there's some annoying people that take advantage of that. Like this dude. Operators with no visibility behind them, screw you, dude. Or this guy, when an area is with no visibility attacks deal art damage, screw you. Or the guys that attack people that have from a distance or something. I don't even know if they're on this stage. The boss too, screw this guy. Blood Knight Dicaiopoulos, however you frickin' say his name. Screw this guy. He's annoying. He's hard. You gotta play around his mechanics, but he's annoying. All right, and I don't care. I was actually playing through some of these recently, as you can see, I've done most of the EX stages. I literally did this one the other day, and you can tell because nope, not through this auto deploy. Look at the operators I'm using. This shit was recent. Okay, I'm still working on it. I'm just not a fan. It'll go in all right. It's, you know, it's definitely better than these two. Break the ice. I actually don't mind this event that much. I don't mind it. I also, I am kind of a sucker for snowy, icy aesthetics until I get sick of it. And the icy surface, I don't remember finding it that annoying, except maybe in some of the EX stages, you really had to kind of think a bit and make sure you weren't getting screwed over. There were definitely some stages that were kind of rough. But I don't know, I liked it. These guys were annoying. They definitely wanted you to play with pushers and stuff, I think, a lot, with the ice and all that. And I still haven't done the EX version of this stage. I can definitely clear it. I just haven't gotten around to it. I just don't want to. But it also introduces Dagenbrecher, and she's dope. It's also kind of a fun boss. You have to play around her goddamn dash. And I just contradicted myself, right? I said it was fun, and then I described probably the most annoying part about her. But overall, not the worst event. I think, honestly, I'm going to put it in bottom of amazing. I don't know. I just don't remember it being that bad for me. I kind of liked it. Maybe the snowy aspect is really carrying it for me. Invitation to Wine, another one I'm exposing myself, not even fully cleared. But in all honesty, I mean, the event itself is not one of my favorites. I kind of like the enemies that drop the little dudes that can, can't be blocked. Some of them are annoying. Like the 30, shoot this guy 30 times. All right. Or the ones that only take arts damage and have to be hit 4 times. It incentivizes bringing variety, so I can't fault it for that, but it doesn't mean I have to like it. These guys are also dumb, like piss off. I don't like enemies that are like, more likely to be attacked by allied units. You piss off. Fountain boils can get thrown in the trash, dude. Screw these guys. They stack them up and they start doing way too much damage. The boss is kind of interesting. I will say, he looks dope, and I do like how he's basically an actual wall boss, as opposed to the one from Undertides. And I liked how this stage was like massive 5-tile wide stage. Overall, I think it's all right. I don't hate it, but I haven't brought myself to continue it, and that's for a reason. Guide ahead, I really only have 33 out of 56 on this. I feel like wow, I haven't done shit. Okay, maybe I just haven't got around to some of these, because I actually like this event. I love the look of this. This is so cool. This was another event I remember seeing really early on when I'm playing, and I was like, I can't wait to get wherever that is. The enemies are also interesting. Some of them, kind of. I really like the music. This event has fantastic music. Some of these enemies are kind of annoying with their ammo and their ammo capacity. The gelato shops, hit or miss. I find myself not always like really paying attention to the mechanic, but I guess I'm just sort of playing around it and it works out. Maybe when I get around to the EX stages, I'm either gonna hate it more or like it more. From what I've played, I liked it. It's good. Top of good. Stutti Ferra Navis. This event I thought was cool in the way you navigated the levels and stuff. As someone who wasn't reading, it was a little bit annoying to have to skip through all the dialogue or the stuff you had to like kind of read like this, but I thought this was a cool touch. Obviously, a continuation, or I mean, it's connected to Undertide, so the levels will look similar. When you're actually inside the boat, this golden palette, I think is so cool. One of my favorite looking events by far, easily. Music also a major plus once again. I think everybody knows the boss theme. One of the best boss themes for sure. Now, the mechanics, the Nethersea brand, quite a divisive mechanic. Here's how I feel about it. I don't hate it, but for my account personally, I'm not a fan of it just because I use a lot of ground operators. That's a me thing. I recognize that. And it kind of incentivizes using less ground units, obviously. You can still win with ground units, obviously, and using them and blocking the Nethersea brand, but it's just a little bit more annoying. It can also be hellish to deal with if you have no form of stun, but that's not something you can really keep. That's not something you can't really bypass without borrowing like a Texas Alter or something. But some of these stages can be annoying as shit. Or even the enemies too, bro. When these guys are attacking your ops on Nethersea brand, they don't even like. Oh my god, the rage-inducing feeling that wells up within me when that happens. Because there are some stages where you just can't prevent the spread of the Nethersea brand, and it'll just take over everything. And in some of those stages, you can't kill these guys very easily or efficiently or at all for a bit, and they're just gonna lock in on your ground units. So it's like, okay, I'll use fucking high ground troops. Fine, okay. The boss too is his own batch of weird. I think you have to kill him 5 separate times, from what I remember. I mean, cool, but goddamn, like, stay down. From what I've heard, this event seems to get a lot of flack. I'd never actually hated it when I played it. I thought it was fun, and while I wasn't a big fan of the mechanic of the Nethersea brand, I can respect it for making you have to play around it. I really do like the music and the set dressing, so I actually think it's like bottom of peak event. That's not without even reading the story. I still need to complete the rest of the levels, but I appreciate what it added to the game overall. How it feels very different and removed compared to a lot of other stuff. Lingering Echoes, honestly, this event left very little effect on me. I was doing some of the EX stages the other night. I don't even remember the boss. This guy. I don't even remember fighting this guy. I don't know what he does. I barely remember this stage. This event did not do anything for me. None of the enemies are that insane to deal with, unless your account is crap, probably. And you don't really have to play with the laser mechanic that much. Sometimes you do. I've noticed in some of the EX stages, it feels more so like that. But yeah, I don't know. This event really didn't do much for me. It's going in all right. Ideal City, another beach one, and it's got my girl Gabrielle Alter. I love her. I like this. I like the look of it, the set piece, the set dressing, love that. But my heart's at a crossroads when it comes to this event because it has some of the most annoying enemies ever. These guys, they are just 100% physical dodge for a period of time. That's it. They're just annoying to kill for a period of time. Sure, you could use casters. They have a resistance. I don't know if that's a lot. I would assume it is, but some people have told me, oh, the letters don't really mean much. Well, then why are they there? You know what I mean? So you basically need to stall these losers, and that's annoying because then they'll just stack up until they can be killed. But by that point, they might not be able to be killed. Like, there might be too many. The car thing, when it was used, didn't find myself using it that much. I more used it out of principle than anything else. Didn't really find myself using it. Some of these EX stages were annoying as shit. I'll be completely, bro, the boss stage, holy cow, was a little bit annoying. Not impossible by any means, but a little bit annoying. The boss is kind of cool. It being a drone, and you really do have to pay attention to the order at which you place certain units. Oh, this fucker, the Sandcastle Architect. Screw these guys. They don't have anything special going on. They just send a lot of them at you, and they just spam you from across the goddamn stage. I hate these guys. Now, I know I just basically said a bunch of negatives about this event, but it's still pretty good. I didn't want to blow my head off necessarily, although some of those enemies made me want to, but it's there. All right, and it's staying there. It's good. Dorothy's Vision. I think I still need to go back and actually clear a lot of this because I played it when my account was weaker. Oh, I've actually done a good amount then. This event also really stands out to me because of the difference in aesthetic and the enemy variety, like the robots and stuff. I think it's really cool. These bionic guys, specifically these balls, they hurt sometimes. Or maybe it's not the balls. These guys are the tanky ones. Whatever does the ranged attack, they hurt. And these robots, if you aren't prepared for them, can be super problematic because they're tanky as hell. But what makes the event interesting is how you can go about dealing with them. You can deal with them before they even get up, and then they're a non-threat and you don't have to deal with them. Or you do it in a slightly different way where you just don't touch them at all and wait till they all wake up and kill them that way. So it's basically kind of, what do you want to deal with more? Do you want to deal with more of these bionic, these Dora, what are these door enemies? Or do you want to deal with more robots? You probably want to deal with more of these because the robots are problematic. And the rocket robots, if there's a lot of them, that'll be bad. Hitting 4 people at once is not very good, and they do a lot of damage. The boss was also really weird in a good way because they can be very annoying a lot of the time, but the whole teleporting around's kind of cool and stuff. I haven't fought it in a while, and my account was weaker when I fought it, so when I do the EX version, maybe I might change my opinion on it, but I didn't hate it per se. Music was also good, so it gets points for that. I honestly think this one's gonna go in amazing. I really like this event. Il Circusano, I played the rerun of this. I love this event. The music's fantastic. The boss theme is iconic. The vibe of the event, like the actual look of the stages, the enemies, I love it. The mechanic is interesting to play around too because it's almost pretty much timed and set to happen at a certain point. You can kind of prevent it or make it happen sooner, I guess, if you want, but it's pretty much you can typically assume when it'll happen. And the only thing I hate about it are these guys, the Shadow Silencers. Fuck these guys. Oh my god. Hate their asses, bro. They become monstrous beasts when asset liquidation happens. Holy cow. Still a few stages I need to clear, the special ones, but I've played most of this event, and like I said, I really liked it. Without reading story as well, I think this is another peak event, and it easily deserves that. Pretty sure this one's Where Vernal Winds Blow. We'll just use it for that. Another event featuring my second favorite rat in existence. It's fine. I don't really care about this one that much. There's some annoying enemies which I didn't like. The boss was weird from what I remember. Yeah. Sorry, I said that on purpose. I don't even remember that being hard. I just kind of played it and beat it, and I don't even really know what it did. And the overall mechanic of the catastrophe defenses was fine. It was like high ground, but slightly different. Okay, I don't know. And like obviously enemies could walk up and hit your guys. I don't know. I've barely done any of the EX stages for this one right now because I just wasn't really a fan of this. This event really didn't do it for me. I will go do it eventually, but yeah, it's just kind of meh, unfortunately. At least Lynn is here though. What the Firelight Cast is one of my favorite events ever, and the main reason for that is the way the stages look. I love this, and I don't know why. Once again, another event that I saw gameplay for way back when I started playing, and I was like, dude, when do we get here? I love like the different vibe of this, the tall grass, the wind, the swampiness, seeing it catch on fire. I just was like excited to sink my teeth into the game and get to it. And then when I finally did, I was like, wait, it's an event? Like, I played the Annihilation based off this event, and I'm like, where is this even based off of? Is this in the story? And finally it reran and I got to play it. I was like, oh damn, okay. I also am a sucker for the music too, from what I remember. I remember the music being good. I might have to go back and listen to that. But yeah, no, the mechanics weren't even that intrusive either. You obviously had to have block to block these guys, and some might find that annoying. It really wasn't that bad. And I mean, I forgot her name, but we all know why she's great. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, I haven't even fully completed the event. That's crazy. I'm a fraud. Okay, well, I'll definitely go back and do that. But yeah, no, I really like this, and I have a fond memory of doing the Annihilation stage while someone actively was in a call telling me that I wouldn't do it and I was going to lose, and then I fucking beat it. And like the cathartic release when I beat it and proved them wrong was like... For me personally, this event is another peak. Okay. Lone Trail. I've heard the story for this is amazing. I believe you. I do. I also heard it's one of the longest, if not the longest. But being in like a space station or a spaceship, cool as shit. That's awesome. The mechanic of the gravity switch, because I'm stupid, I didn't really fully understand how to take advantage of it right away until I was actually decided to think for a second. Have not completed most of the event yet, or sorry, I've done a decent amount of the event, I mean to say. Just haven't gotten around to fully completing it yet. Also did the Annihilation based around this event. Pretty good. Maybe it took me 2 tries. Basically had it locked down. I think it's good. Oh, hold on. I almost forgot one key factor. These guys. Why on earth? Okay, the 3 blocks are a bit more tolerable, but they're like bullies, just more annoying because they hurt anything they run over. These guys? Really, dude? Why did these guys even need to exist? Look at this. S plus S AHP 4 block? Are you shitting me, dude? Why? Now, I understand on this stage specifically, what I believe you were supposed to do was to have the ball block it, and then it had to go like around. That's fantastic. I didn't know that. That didn't really change how I felt about it. I just dropped Hoshiguma and killed it. But 4 block? Really, dude? There's not many ops that get that. And I think you need a module for most of them. It's still amazing. Ugh. What do I say that I haven't already said about this event, man? I wanted to like this event, by the way. I was so excited to play this. I remember people were talking about it in my Discord like a while before it came out, and I was like, oh, I can't wait to play it. I'm actually looking forward to it. People are like, no, you're not going to look forward to it. You're actually going to hate it. And I was like, oh, I don't think it'll be that bad. It was that bad. Okay. Now, some might think I'm over-exaggerating. And fair. I will say, you know what? We'll start with the positive. Music, fantastic. Fantastic music. The look of the stages, the church, fantastic. I fucking love this. This is one of my favorite tile sets in the game. I wanted to like this event. The mechanics? What mechanics aren't there? There's like 9 mechanics. Not actually, but there feels like it. You have the boulders, you have the breaking wood platforms, you have the boulders that can break the wood platforms, you have to place certain platforms, you have the statues to keep the sanity on the civilians, you have the civilians in general, you have annoying ass enemies that get rid of your DP, steal DP, put DP limits. Like, Jesus Christ. It was just like, okay, here's the game, and how can we take out aspects of the game that make it fun and do that and put 9 different things that make the game less fun, basically. It's not hard. That's the thing. It's not hard. It is just tedious, man. If I wanted to play an RTS, I would have gone to play an RTS. I'm playing a fucking tower defense game. So why am I playing Bop It while I'm trying to fucking defend a point? I have to click 7 different things simultaneously while trying to pay attention to the goddamn like defense. It just drives me nuts. It just drives me, honestly. And you know what, actually, I will say this. The boss stage, not even that bad. I actually enjoyed the boss stage, as crazy as that sounds, because it felt like a puzzle I was solving with timed events. That's what it felt like. So I didn't hate it, but everything else was pretty fucking annoying. I think the main issue was that like you could lose to other stuff that didn't include an enemy leaking, but there was so much crap that could cause that for you. Oh my god, like I could complain in circles about why I didn't like this event, and in a weird way it's like a love-hate thing of I hated it, but at the same time I liked it in its own way for being different. So I'm torn. And like I said, I really love the music and the way the event looks. But just for continuity's sake and to have something down here, it's going and hate it, all right? And it's going to sit there. So Long Adele, another event that has quite possibly one of the best menu themes in the game that switches. It has a day and night version. Okay, that's cool. Swire Altar is a bad bitch. She is beautiful. She is gorgeous. Oh my goodness. I really like the look of the event. I like the enemies that they're all sheep. Music is great. The Steam soda bottle mechanic, I'm half and half on. I half like it, I half don't like it. When I was playing through this, I really didn't want to have to keep placing Steam soda bottles, especially on stages that didn't really have good Steam spots. I just wanted to blow shit up, and shit just wasn't getting blown up. They're like super tanky. I think I Wizardelled most of this event, and I kind of feel bad for it because I just didn't want to deal with it. I honestly just didn't. But I'm gonna try not to judge the event based off my own shortcomings. The boss is interesting, but he's a beefy fella. I like they have to play around his sort of shield with the steam bottles and stuff, but he could be a little annoying sometimes with his global attacks and shit. But as much as I was, you know, complain about things being beefy, it's definitely not the worst thing out there. Put it in bottom of amazing, probably above some of these. I think if my account was crappier, I don't know how much I would have liked this event. The magician sheep were annoying too. Babble's fantastic. I enjoyed pretty much every moment I was playing this event. I thought the mechanic with the chains was really interesting. The enemies, for the most part, weren't the worst thing ever, but they weren't like if you played around the mechanic, you could deal with them. Like these guys, capable of evading physical attacks, but they lose the physical dodge against the stabilizer chain. So they're not immune to physical damage, so you can still kill them with chance, but if you really don't want to deal with that, then use the chain. Unlike a certain enemy from Ideal City, where you just had to wait until he lost his physical dodge, you can actually have player agency and get rid of it. Other enemies that are like super tanky, like this guy, you don't need to activate a stupid gramophone to kill it. Get the chains. Make a chain. Use your enemies. Use your operators to kill it. You know what I mean? Like, what I liked was you had, it brought another way to operator placement order. You didn't have to have perfect order every time, but it was more thinking into how you were placing your operators due to wanting the chains being in a certain way, which I thought was cool. I also thought the EX stages were great. I remember EX8 was fun, making like a great choke point and just killing everything in that one choke point. I loved using Ascalon in this event. The special stages were interesting, and I remember this one in particular was crazy with all the invisible enemies. I think, oh my god, I haven't even done the challenge modes. Oh wow, they're actually harder. Oh geez, I remember just doing the normal versions were hard enough for me. Okay, I'll come back to the challenge modes eventually, but damn. And I remember a fond little memory of actually going on someone's account and helping this stage for them in my Discord, and just using operators a lot of operators that were built that I don't have built on my account, and trying to finagle a certain strat, and I freaking did it. You know, and it was fun. I enjoyed it. Babble's going in peak. I actually really love this event. Now we're covering the events that I can't look at. So I'm gonna have to go off memory here. Forgive me if I get some things wrong. I'm just gonna kind of go off the dome. I don't remember this name, but it's something vultures. I thought the event was pretty cool. The mechanic was fine. Enemies weren't that annoying. Music was great. But the boss, bro, I think I kind of understand how to play around him now, because I dealt with him in Trials for Navigator. But dude, when I first dealt with that guy, I wanted to jump off a building because he would just kill something, teleport, kill something, teleport, kill something, teleport, and I was done. I definitely played this when I was earlier on in my account, but goddamn. Event was still pretty amazing though. Zwillingssturm im Herbst. Dude, this event is sick. I can't wait for its rerun. One of the best battle themes in the frickin' game, hands down. Love the vibe of the event, love the tile set. And actually around this time was when I made my first ever video. It was the event I used as my background footage in my first video, so it kind of has some nostalgia points for that. And while the mechanics in it were apparent, they weren't so obtrusive that you were like losing your mind over it. I liked the whole switching songs thing, and you could deal with it relatively easily. There was that little ball thingy that would teleport places and you had to hit, and then it would shoot to activate some of the other musical things, which I thought was sort of interesting. The boss, from what I remember, was like a stationary boss, and he was kind of annoying. Didn't really like him that much, but not impossible. I am putting this one in peak. I really like it a lot. I forgot the name of this one too. I'm sorry, I can't see it. It's so small. But it's the Degenbrecher event with the heaters and keeping everything hot and warm. I really enjoyed this event for some reason. Maybe other people did too, so maybe I don't know why I'm acting like it's a weird thing. And I thoroughly enjoyed the boss. And I think I did the EX version of it, and that was fun as hell too. It took me a couple tries to get it right, but it was fun to figuring out that process. And the heater mechanic is something you have to play around, but it doesn't feel crappy to play around, or at least I don't remember it feeling crappy to play around. And the music was great in this event too. The battle music, love it. This is another peak one. I thoroughly enjoyed this event. I also am looking forward to its rerun. Another one I really liked, the shoe event. I thought the water mechanic was really creative, and you had enough agency where you could deal with it in the way you wanted. I wish every stage had the water filter like cannon thingy. I understand some stages wouldn't have worked with them, so I guess maybe not every stage, but I remember there being certain stages where I'm like, dude, can we just have the water filter to like filter out the water, please? It would just make it more enjoyable. The one thing I didn't like, if you had a operator behind the tiles that like separated the water, if you killed an enemy on top of it, it would come onto your side that was clean, you know what I'm saying? Which I thought was kind of annoying. Nothing you couldn't play around, but you just had to kind of change your formation a bit. The boss, from what I remember, wasn't too bad. I remember struggling on the EX version a bit, but it just took so long to escape that I ended up just killing it because all my guys came back alive. And you can also stall him if you have enough healing and like a really tanky operator. I remember I stalled it with my Hoshi, even if it was in dark red water. So there's that. From what I remember, the music was pretty good. It also has those little like bug enemies, those little flying drone thingies that could lag your game if you played on your phone. But they were like, they were a Lin generator, just constantly like giving her SP for her skill. That was crazy. I love this event too. I know it's another peak, but a lot of the events that I played for the first time as they were coming out were great. The second R6 event with Ella, I don't think this one will go in peak, but I liked it. It was pretty creative with what you had to do with having characters behind the walls. You could blow up some of those yellow staticky thingies sometimes. Some of the enemies were kind of annoying, but I don't remember feeling very tedious to deal with overall. I don't have much to say about this one, to be honest. It didn't leave like a huge impact on me. I think it's good. Has a really good boss theme though. Goddamn. Path of Life, which is technically the last one on here, but we'll talk about the Pepe event after. Basically had the roadblock mechanic, just you had to be more precise with it, with how the enemies died. And then it actually had a bit of the blue crap from Stultifera Navis. Oh, I don't know why. The Nethersea brand. Not that much, but it did. The enemies also weren't too bad. The boss was pretty interesting, how it was a stationary boss that you killed by killing the enemies that it was attached to. Didn't feel very difficult to me, which was nice. I liked the look of the stages. Music was good from what I remember. Yeah. This one, I don't know. I also thought this one was kind of peak. Probably bottom of peak. I don't want to be too generous, but yeah, I like that one too. And then finally the Pepe event. just recently cleared the EX stages. The special stages will drop soon, but it's another event I think is probably peak. I think I would put it up there. Love the music. Pepe's theme is great. I know it's not a part of the event, but I'm just thinking about it. The mechanic is basically a version of Nethersea Brand, but you can destroy it, and it's definitely not as annoying. And I like a lot of the enemies and their designs, and there's not really very many annoying enemies, which I like. Even the boss himself can be a little bit of a bitch, but he's really not that bad. The event's relatively easy, so it's nice for newer players too. At least it felt easy. So yeah, that one would go in peak. And yeah, that's my list for my rating every event in Arknights. We probably have some crazy differing opinions. If I had to pick a favorite event, because it's kind of not ordered here, I actually am not fully sure. If I had to pick a favorite event, it's probably between these four. So links to them in my Herbst, the Dagenbrecher one, Firelight Cast, and the Il Circusano. One of those is my top favorite. I don't know which one right now. But yeah, that's the list. Let me know what you think. What's your favorite event? Do you have a least favorite event? Do you agree or disagree with some of my opinions on these? Let me know. And thank you for watching. Like the video, subscribe to me for more, join the Discord. We have a lot of fun over there, and I'll see you all in the next one.